Well, I'm Dan.
I'm Nick, folks.
Mm-hmm.
That's me.
And,
Together,
yeah, we make the UnPanderers.
us folks come into your living room
Yeah.
or computer or your little sanctuary where you do all sorts of weird stuff you don't tell people about.
Mm-hmm. That's where you turn the cameras off,
That's where we belong.
headphones up.
Right in here with you.
Yeah, right near your earlobes.
Grab your bottle. That can be alcoholic. It can be a lubricant. I'm trying to think of a third thing. It could be water.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. And get ready. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. And disclaimer: we're
Oh,
adults. You may not be, or you may be
if you're
too
not
much of an adult.
18, if you're not 18
Yep.
and you're over like 20,
We whatever we say is not representative of what we actually mean.
nor our employers, our coworkers, our loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
our pets, our neighbors,
Yep.
our mailmen and mail women,
Yeah, I was about to
or
correct you.
anyone else we see on the street. They're not even our opinions. I think we've already went over that actually.
I feel like this is going to be a good podcast, so I'm already going to open up my my second beer just to prepare. Plus, I have nothing to do because everything is flooded.
What flooded you say? Is there a hurricane in town?
Oh, not anymore. He's been downgraded.
Ooh, Category 1 storm. That's not dangerous.
He's not even Cat 1. But
Then why even make a deal of it? It's really nothing.
yeah. So, what point shall we start with?
In the top
My security, my safety.
topical. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm
So
worried about you.
I'm amazed that I have power.
I'm amazed.
I'm on the same grid as a police station, so maybe that helped.
You're a cop. Oops.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh boy.
Miranda rights. Yeah, so maybe that helped.
Okay.
I'm also located in a neighborhood that's newer, so it's higher up than most.
That's,
So when I see other people's, other people's neighborhoods when they flood, this is a Texas thing because they use like streets as reservoirs, which I had never seen. So
that's intentional.
that's intentional because they expect it to just like dissipate and
But
dissolve into the ground. So most of the neighborhoods you see, like I've seen them flood before, where the entire like roadway is covered in water and it's up to like your driveway.
that's pretty weird.
I've seen it a lot.
Huh. And it's I guess semi-intentional because at least it floods there. It saves the rest of the people.
Yeah.
Do they make like? Can you buy a house there, or is it like kind of off from the houses?
Clarify your question.
Are these like poor people houses that purposely flood, or like?
I think yes, partly. Some
Okay,
of
so
them,
there are houses there. It's just like no one wants to necessarily live there if you can help
yeah,
it.
they're probably cheaper than most,
Okay.
and that's not an excuse, but
No, it's economics.
yeah,
I mean,
there's an
what's-
economic portion of it that's people buy next to the bayou, or they buy in low-lying areas, or houses that are flat or even with the ground at elevation. And my house
Yeah.
is not that way. It's like 5 feet off of the street for that purpose.
Nice, excellent.
Yeah, and the houses that don't do that, I don't know why because I've seen it so many times. The first week I was down here, I borrowed a friend's car, and I went to the mall, which is like 30 minutes away. It was the downtown mall. And when I came back, it was raining. It rained 7 inches in like a matter of a few hours, which is on par for what happened last night and night before.
And the night before.
Yeah, and the area that they're showing you picking people up, it was flooded like not to that level, but the feeder roads, like the highway does the same things. The feeder roads are like a reservoir. They're below grade for some reason. Doesn't make any sense to me. But
somewhere has to flood. Maybe
yeah,
this is all because somewhere has to flood. So we're doing it to somewhere.
you're protecting something else.
Right.
Yeah.
And a feeder road isn't as important as the highway, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose so. And the first time it flooded, I was like, "What the heck? Like, why would this flood?" Because I wasn't from here, and
This is stupid.
Yeah.
I hate this stupid state.
I got to do the one thing I really always wanted to do in someone else's car, which I went.
Road through some big old puddles.
No, well,
Oh,
technically yes.
how deep? Oh, you shouldn't. They say not.
They tell you not
no.
to, but well, the puddles, but they're like the on ramp there's a dip, so the water was probably 1 foot deep, maybe a little more.
Well, you don't know.
I
You don't know, folks at home.
that's
You
true.
don't know.
But the ditch was deeper, and I went through the ditch. I went right over the curb, and poof, poof, and I got stuck on the other side. So I was half in the water with my friend's car, and my girlfriend, current wife, she was in the passenger seat as the water was coming through the door, screaming at me, telling me how much of an idiot I was. Yeah. So I had her jump in the driver's seat, and she's pumping the gas as I'm on the back of the bumper, like pushing it, bumping it up and down, so that we can like slowly like weave our way up onto the highway.
Damn, dude, you're lucky.
Yeah.
If that flooded the engine, you would have A, been in deep shit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
B, been in deep shit.
Yeah. But I calculated it right because we just like hit like and we stuck like right on the side of the bank, and we're enough that I could weasel my way up.
Lucky you, lucky you. Mm-hmm.
And when he sees this podcast, I'm hoping he
Doesn't know who it is.
enjoys my
Could be anyone. Could be anyone.
He enjoys my story.
In my car? Wait, so he doesn't know?
Yeah.
Did you just like air that bad boy out?
Oh,
Get a little
you
water out?
could smell it. I felt bad. Felt pretty bad. But it
Well,
was an
folks-
older car. If it was a new car, I would have been like, well, fuck, I'll give you like whatever it's worth.
$1.
Yeah.
I'll give you $1. I apologize.
I'll put a factor of 0.2 on it.
That's why I drive the vehicle with the highest driving clearance of its class.
Oh, that's amazing.
Check that out.
That stat would be useful down here. We'd be driving around doing crazy stuff.
Oh, I imagine people in your area drive a lot of that vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very American and patriotic, let me tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
And they get big old tires, and they take the doors off. I'm not going to say what kind of vehicle, but I think you folks at home know.
Yep. The same group as
Isuzu.
like the Cajun
Isuzu.
Navy.
An Isuzu. What was the Isuzu? I feel like I remember that.
It's a real car company.
Hold on. I had a teacher who drove the ugliest car in the world. It was a purple. It wasn't a Toyota Tercel.
It's
It
like
was
a
a
mix between like
Isuzu
a
something.
minivan and like a normal
Oh, yeah.
normal SUV, I think.
This is Nippus, I think. I don't care. She might be dead.
Nippus?
Yeah, I think so. Now I can't remember if it was hers. Now I'm like, it was a second grade teacher, when really it was a third grade teacher. Miss Nippus. Odd name, right?
Yeah. It's going to stand out.
I hope none of y'all had Miss Nippus. If you did, shout out Miss Nippus. I made it pretty far, making a video podcast. I got at least 6 viewers, so I'm doing pretty good.
6 views. That's views.
You're right. That's 3 apiece. What does that leave?
Yeah.
There's someone out there.
Yeah,
checking
there's got to
out
be
all
another
of it.
person.
Yeah.
There's always some hacker, some spy.
Well, the videos have to be viewed for YouTube quality control, correct? Or is it a bot? Did we figure this out?
It's a bot. That's why I
Does it
hide
count
my
as a view?
symbols. Does the bot count as a view?
It should. I mean, you gotta check it. Let's
Yeah.
be real, folks. Let's get real.
And if I
Let's
were
get
to,
real.
If I were to make a bot, I'd say it was in Alaska. I mean, then you'd be able to track which one. Oh no, that just ruined half our viewership.
Most of it. I'd say most of it. Oh, that's all right. We're gonna dig deep.
Mm-hmm.
The other question I actually had for you: do you recognize any of these places that are like a before and after shots
Yes.
that I keep seeing on? Well, you're seeing it on your news, so I guess you don't know what I'm seeing on my news, but
Yeah.
probably a lot of the same spots.
There was one, like all that section along I-45. Like that's an area that I drive through. Like I would take a back road to get to work some days, and that would be where I would go.
And it's like just underwater right now.
What's that?
Is it underwater right now? Like,
Yeah,
pretty
that
much
area is
essentially
like
still.
3 or 4 feet underwater.
Well, like here's a question because I don't know. I'm not there. Like, is it fluctuating in water volume? Like, the news will show it, and it's like, whoa, this place is totally underwater. But like now at like midnight, is it kind of it lowered a few feet, and then tomorrow it might go up and then down, or how's it? I have no idea how it really works. Or is everything just like still filling up and nothing's going down? Everything's getting higher.
I don't think it's getting higher because
It like fluctuates.
yeah, it fluctuates a little bit. Like my street, it floods a little bit. It's like down the end of the street, it has like a sway of like 1.5 feet, which is actually like the reservoir level. So last night it was probably like 1.5 feet above the street.
Right.
Yeah, and that went down this morning and then went back up. But I think the max is probably like 1.5 because it's rained some crazy amount, like almost 4 feet of rain in the matter of 3 days,
Insane.
which makes my house pretty much flood proof,
Penetrable.
I would assume, because yeah, it's
Whew.
this is the test of the century or
Oh, and
millennia.
also, like tornadoes spawning off and everything.
Yeah, you got a tornado warning every 5 minutes about a different county because of the line of storms that go straight up and pull all the air with it and cause
Right,
crazy
hot.
spins.
Right.
Yeah,
Huh.
and
Insane.
the computer generated tornado warning system looks at that. So
So, without that, I mean, your job's fairly important, but fairly not important, and you haven't had work. Like everyone's like, "Yo,
no,
stay home."
yeah,
Is that what it is?
you physically can't go anywhere because almost every intersection of the highway gets flooded. Like
Okay, so you're really putting everyone at risk if there were jobs going on.
yeah, and there's
Crazy.
people that have mandatory evacuations near the rivers.
Now, like, what happens with the homes? Will there be homes that are just like ruined, and then like, does everyone have flood insurance? Do no one have flood insurance because they don't offer it, or is it like,
I don't have flood insurance.
well, I guess, and you're up, so you're kind of
I
okay.
looked at the elevation and said, it's like 1 in 100. They my area is 101 in 100 years. It's supposed to flood. This
Okay.
flood is like a 1 in 500 year flood, which means
But
they were
you're in
wrong.
good shape.
Yeah,
So, oh.
yeah, one in a
So,
thousand
so
years.
literally, you went out in your backyard and just like kind of looked at it, and we're like, no flood insurance. We're
When
good.
they asked if I needed flood insurance, I asked for the survey, and there's a
Oh,
survey
you
that
can do
shows
this? Look
yeah,
at you, man. You're telling us all the secrets here.
here's the
Give me a
secret.
secret.
And the secret is you look at
Do
all
you
the
want
other
flood
people
insurance?
around you, and you make sure that they're
I'd
gonna
like
flood before you.
I mean, what do you do if like it's still slowly rising and all the people who didn't have flood insurance you're laughing at, but you're like ha 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 ha,
And then you're
and it's
like,
just like getting closer and closer. You're like, oh no. Can you call someone and be like, I need that flood insurance. I need it right now.
that's when you call Trump.
I need flood insurance now.
I think
No problem. It's gonna be done. It'll be huge. It'll be great.
yeah, we're gonna build him a house and he's gonna pay for it. And you're like,
Damn it.
shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Mm.
I think if it were to actually flood and take out my house, it would take out everybody, which it's almost doing now. So if it were to destroy everything, it'd be like Houston is one huge disaster zone. I
That
think
would suck.
someone would probably cover my losses. I hope.
Someone. Like someone just comes in and is like,
Some of the
hey, were you
government.
living there?
Like FEMA
Go,
or something.
go. I guess they would do that. I don't know.
I don't know. But man, flooding is definitely not going to happen in my house because it's still like 5 feet above where
Like
the maximum amount of water is.
flooding seems like the corniest natural disaster if we had to rank them. Honestly, right?
It's not as
Like fire's pretty extreme, lava's awesome, tornadoes are wicked nuts. But like you go down the list, even blizzard is like, that's okay, but that's like snow. Then you're like, water is slowly going to just like kind of creep into your basement. Like it sounds stupid, but it is one of the more dangerous because it's going to ruin like the flooring, the wood, the electric. Like it ruins a lot.
It ruins quite a bit. You have to tear out all the carpets you have and then
Right.
your
Redo
baseboards,
it.
and you got to
So-
like bleach the wood or something to make sure you
But
don't
it's
mold up.
yeah, I guess that makes sense. But it's also like the worst. It's like flood. That's so boring. Like you watch it happen so slow,
Yeah, think that's why it's so boring is because you expect water to be really dynamic.
rushing through and crashing through
Like
doors,
a
but really
tsunami,
just
you're like, oh my god, that's
yeah,
probably
yeah,
the
yeah, that's
the
cool.
coolest
That's
way.
cool.
Yeah,
to get
to get
that's the
killed.
best way to get flood
Yeah.
damage and ruin your household
But flooding is just like
slowly. Ugh, the worst.
yeah. So
That's a downer.
I'm
Well, I will tell the podcast this. So me and Dan were friends from way back. I'll even say high school. Is that bizarre? Just waiting for a response from you. Thanks.
comments.
We were good friends, whatever. And eventually I realized I don't like the guy. He moves, whole
Terrible
other
person.
state. We didn't really talk that much. Like, I guess once every few months you get one of those phone calls. You're an adult.
Uh-huh.
You got adult stuff going on.
We
You know,
fast
like,
forwarded for like 2 years
Yeah.
there.
several, I would say. We'll say several.
Mhm.
Give and take,
Yeah,
because we got lives. We got stuff going on. We're busy,
Mhm.
And not that I don't care about you. I'm busy. Dan, I'm busy. Back off.
I feel it. I know.
But tell me if you felt this. Once this flood stuff started happening, and I heard you were in danger, I got worried. And I think it was because of the podcast, you know?
You
I
might
think I'm
lose
like,
the podcast.
well, just not the podcast. Like, we're back to being, we're bros again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we are again. But now we talk like so many times a week.
Yeah.
I know you like to see me talk with my hands, so, you know, I'm like, ooh, what if Dan's in distress? And I was like, I was really worried. I was like, oh shit, like I can't. There's nothing I can really do, but I would like feel terrible, and I felt terrible texting you, being like, "What's up? Here it's flooding, dude."
Yo, man.
Being like, it's just a picture of you crying, and be like, "I lost everything," you know, the car, the house.
That was your
We
worry when
can't
you were
find
texting me?
anyone. Yeah, and I was like, and what was I gonna say to that? Like, oh, sucks, man, and maybe like, oh my god,
Yeah.
and then the podcast.
That's kind of the weird thing is, like, of all my friends, I don't think there's a friend that lost everything, but I don't know that because if they had lost everything,
You
they
wouldn't
wouldn't
hear.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing. I was texting you to kind of feel out because if you're in the midst of losing everything and all this water is coming into your house and you're going insane and you're trying to figure out what you can salvage, what you can't, maybe you're forced from your home and you got to go to a shelter or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good podcast stuff. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't think to go, hey, Nick, by the way, my house is totally effing up. Right now, we're moving everything out of the basement. Oops, there go my guitars. Like, you know, like there's no time to text and communicate. You're
Yeah.
in it.
Because you're rapidly trying to save everything you can.
Yes, and texting your podcast partner about the conditions of all this going on. Oh, you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Your bro. So I was worried, Dan. We've grown pretty close in the podcast. I think we're best friends now.
Yeah, I think so.
Are you my best friend?
Maybe,
I hope one of my other best friends sees this.
yeah.
I hope, and they're like, I thought. I hope.
I hope. Yeah. So one of the quirks is I've been watching the news via YouTube. It's like a live stream of someone streaming it on YouTube.
Do you do no cable?
I don't do cable, but you can get it over the air. But the air, you only get maybe one or two news channels.
Right.
And over YouTube, you can quickly flip.
How do you know when the YouTube air is going?
It's constant. There's like 4 channels that are covering all of this, so I get to flip through them.
Oh, okay.
And
It showed up in my YouTube.
Oh, it
thing.
did? Oh.
Yeah, it did. I was like, did I look it up when I was drinking because I'm worried about Dan, or did Dan look it up because he's worried about Dan?
Worried about me. I
That
definitely
makes
did.
sense. That makes sense.
And I'm finding that the news is, well, it already was antiquated, but I think it is even more so.
Well, the speed of the internet is beating it.
Not only the speed, just like the amount of information, and then like the personalized level of information. You want to find out like what's happening in your zip code. It's the news isn't
5-10
gonna,
minutes. You can find out within 5-10 minutes if something that happened near you.
And then like meteorologists.
Right, they do. They're very generalized. They do like a whole city and a half.
Yeah.
Sorry,
They're like this area over here is going to get a lot of rain, and then this one down here, a little less.
Not as much, but maybe we'll see. Stay tuned to 11.
Yeah.
They do a gimmick in Philadelphia now. I don't know which station it is, so I hope
Do
someone
they
sues
interview
me.
a random guy?
No, they give you a neighborhood by neighborhood forecast.
Oh. So you tune
So
in at like 8:07 and then it shows
No,
you.
like they'll do all the neighborhoods at once. Like it's like a zoomed in of the map of Philadelphia, and it'll be like Lawncrest is going to be 76 and rainy, and then it like moves over very slowly. It's like Oxford Circle is going to be 74 and not quite as rainy, and then it's like, I'm like, this is
terrible.
They're really just they have a range, and they just +1, -1, +1, -1, just to kind of make everyone feel like they're really involved, but it's totally fake.
It's like Baltimore does like these weird interviews with people, and it's like a random person who owns a greenhouse, and they're talking about fertilizer, and then they use the same person, and they talk about like chrysanthemums, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like,
Who's talking about chrysanthemum?
Yeah.
Damn it!
And they don't look at the camera either. They have an awkward conversation where they're both
Slightly off.
Yeah, they're both slightly off, talking to one another, and they're trying to look at the camera, but they're not supposed to. So
Nothing's better than a bad camera facing interview stuff. I love that.
Oh.
That gets me going. Gets my hormones moaning,
Yeah.
baby.
The one disappointment is that there are so many online resources, there's probably 4 that will tell you, where the storm's going to be, the possibilities of where it's going to be, how strong it will be, and how much rain you're going to get now.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Ooh.
in a day, in 2 days, and in a week. And like those resources are federal for the most part, and they're shared on these 4 federal websites. So I'm astonished that the news never goes, if you need to look at more information because this is life-threatening, search
Check out.
these.
Well,
They
I will
didn't do that at
do.
all.
You know what I use for my minute to minute? It's probably the social media platform I'm on the most is Twitter.
Twitter.
Only because it's minute to minute.
People were getting rescued via Twitter. They would tweet
Were
at
they?
911
Yeah.
or something.
Right. Well, because it's literally, I mean, it's a minute to minute thing, and it's on a platform where everyone can see.
I was watching a lot of, since I still have internet and power, I was watching Anthony Bourdain.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about, Libya? I think he went to Libya. And he was talking about how the Libyan government, Gaddafi, got toppled because they had Twitter. They were tweeting at NATO, and NATO would bomb the places they would say to attack.
Crazy.
Via Twitter, because that was their only means of communication.
The only argument against all of this and the news angle is very much because I was a journalist by trade, actually. Little known fact, folks. One of the big gripes against journalism and newspapers was not quick enough. People need their stuff now. They don't need it the next day. It used to be a newspaper would come out once a day. Like, you can't, it's not the speed of news anymore. It's much quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But the argument against it is that it's unfounded. It's not fact-checked. It's not backed up.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of fake news would come into play.
Yep.
And if something's coming out 5 minutes ago, there's no way for you to verify it. There's no way you have to fly a reporter out to somewhere, bring a scholar, a historian, and someone else, and then fact-check the sentence you just heard. If there was a bombing at 5th and wherever, and there's police reporting to the place, you run with it. I mean, what can you do? Well, hold on. Let's see if it was really a bombing. I want the team to check on the explosive, the incendiary. I want, that would be 2 days. So I guess there's always going to be a battle between how true a fact is and how quick you get it. You either get one or the other.
True, but if it's you have
right,
certified accounts and it's it's that person, that person doesn't have an agenda. They don't have an editor that's putting spin on it most of the time.
But where are they getting their news? Probably from someone on the ground who's there.
It would have to be first-hand accounts, which would be most realistic.
So wait, are we saying Bob McKenzie of TSN is showing up on site to make sure that these stories are breaking? Oh, I'll talk about Bob. He's Canadian. You can't sue me.
Yeah, but I think it's like a trustworthy source, and he's filtering it.
Oh, he is, and I totally buy him, but he's still using another source, right? He's not.
I wouldn't doubt that he has so many connections. He could just be like, hey, he calls one of the managers. He's like, Wayne Gretzky, is this real? And then Gretzky's like, yeah.
Hey, Wayne. Yeah, 92 goals in a year. Yeah, it's you.
Leading
Wayne. Do you know that record?
92 goals in a year?
92 goals.
Yeah. Edmonton? What did he play for Edmonton?
Yeah, he only played 80 games that year. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I would
Do you know what his point total record was? I believe I'm right. For a year?
For a year? Almost 212?
Damn, it was 212, I think.
Oh, shit, yeah, I got it.
Nice. That's the you got that. Wow. And again, I could be wrong, but I was thinking 212. So
see that? Yeah, certified trustworthiness right there.
Yeah, you got a blue check mark next to that right there. Yeah. That's UnPanderers. Which, oh no, is that the first time we said our name? Oh no, we said it earlier. I was like, we're 40 minutes in. We haven't said the name of the podcast. Someone's very confused at home. Well, let's move on a little bit because, I mean, we could spend all day. I have no problem, but we had a few P's and Q's to get to.
I guess there's one thing that I want to bring up.
Oh, go ahead.
The Doomsday Preppers?
Go ahead. Oh, did you get into some of that?
Since it's finally Doomsday. I didn't watch the show, but I experienced it firsthand. As the people, it's amazing how many stores ran out of water first. So the order was this. Water, milk and bread about the same time.
Milk and bread is so overrated.
Yeah.
What's the joke? Everyone's making French toast. Yeah, that's it.
Something stupid. And ramen. Ramen was gone.
Really?
Soup was gone. Peanut butter, jelly. There was no cheese. It's like, all those things are gone. Like,
Weird.
it's crazy. Every store.
Were there like awesome fillets on sale everywhere?
I did look at a pack of steaks
Beautiful.
over $12,
Yeah.
and I was like, I could just broil this, but I have to have electricity, so I don't know if it would go bad. I was really craving a steak, and I should have bought
You
it.
could cook a steak without electricity.
Yeah.
Did you?
You'd have to.
Fire.
I have a gas stove, so I could grill it over the stove. It'd be great if I was chopping into a porterhouse right
I
now.
thought you were gonna say topless, doing
Topless.
it in like the dark, like just in your jeans, like something like Wolverine.
Just
Cooking a steak on the old grill in the dark,
Pounding it.
pounding that meat. That's what we do here,
Shoving
man.
it in
We
my
just
grill.
Pound our, just get in there and make a mess of things, and just
hmm
get your face in there and do the rest. You know.
Yeah. So I don't know where if everyone prepped. You would think that the majority of people would, but there's always going to be those people that are like, that'll be fine. I'll just pick up the stuff later, and then.
I bought on my last hurricane, I think Sandy up here.
hmm
And I still love my super awesome flashlight. It's a really good one. Like I spent like $38 on it.
Hmm.
Oh, dude, LED. It shoots like you can like hit a plane with it, and it's like it takes like 4Ds, and it's like yeah. Everyone run supplies. That's how you get supplies. Shoot the old lasers at the planes going by.
That's a federal offense, I think.
Oh, it is.
Don't
But
do
I'm
that.
saying in the event of Armageddon, you can do it.
Yeah, oh yeah, Armageddon, everything's. Actually, I found out that crimes
certain-
during a period of emergency.
Escalate.
No, there's actually a heftier fine and a heftier jail time to it.
Sorry, that's what I meant by escalate. They become more heinous, which I
Yeah.
thought was
Yes.
odd.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess it's to stop people from doing it for fun. But what about the people that have to do it? Are they getting punished more because they can't find food?
yeah, I don't know. That's probably a hairy area where if you're like, I just need this gallon of milk, you're like, get him on the ground, arrest him.
Nice try, buddy. That's a federal offense. You're rubbing his face in the
Yeah.
dirt.
You break the
We
milk
gotta-
open and pour it over his body.
How you like that
I
now?
just wanted
You,
some milk. He's
you like
trying to
them
breathe.
bovine secretions all over you? Take this mother to jail. You throw the empty jug at him. We got another jug head. Fifth one tonight. All these guys just hungry, sitting in the back of the paddy wagon, wishing they had milk. I'm
All that
lactose intolerant. He's getting cramps. It was for my family.
Yeah.
I can't digest milk.
Oh, that would be amazing if your superhero power only began when you ingested milk because you were intolerant to it. So
Or
this guy's
you were-
like dripping with milk, and finally, like a drop, like hits his lips, and then he just hulks up,
Stronger, breaks the chains.
and then he's
So really, he's a hero who's worthless in an emergency.
yeah, 'cause there's no
Really?
milk anywhere.
He's like, I just need milk. I'll save us all.
He
And
starts
everyone's like,
squeezing.
superhero, my wife. She a lactate. You please, you come quickly.
You must find me a
She
pregnant
lactate.
woman.
Our son is 3, but she's still lactating a little. We have to try. We have to try for our future, honey. She's crying and squeezing. Get
See,
me
one of
that drop.
Those ceilings are just about to crush you, like in Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. You must do it now.
Lactate, baby. You know I can't. Lactate, baby. You know I can't. I'll rub your foot. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's getting weird in here. Oh, yeah.
The villain on the other side of the wall with the giant lever, he's just like, what the hell? These people. I
But
can't,
what if
I
he
can't
got-
even kill them with satisfaction.
What if he got horny from watching people do sexual stuff? Oh, he's having a good old time. Like, well, a voyeur. He's a voyeur. He's having a good time.
I thought you said he was a lawyer. I was like, those bastards.
Son of a bitch.
I hate those guys too.
Hate them lawyers, folks. Lawyers.
Voyeur with a V and an O and a Y. Actually, there's a Y in lawyer too.
You know there's someone online with the name Voyeur Lawyer who comments on all the porn videos.
Hope we pick up his attention.
Yeah, he's like, I have a brief for these sort of things. I don't know. He's like weaselly, but he looks at porn.
Ah.
I would charge her $130 an hour for this. Oh, I don't know. What do lawyers do? I don't know. I would like to see her, lawyer.
He pulls
I
out
can't,
a
I can't think of
manuscript.
another lawyer word. Yeah,
He makes him
manuscript.
sign an affidavit before he does anything.
Oh, yeah.
To prove they don't have any STDs. Please, please sign these forms. As they're signing the forms, he's just like, oh, I love forms. I love forms.
Forms. Well, that brings us to our next subject, actually, man.
I hope so.
Smirk or smile.